My name's Connor. This is mine and Michael's Week 8 update for Assignment 2. So the goal for this week was to have the database created. So the create account will add what's input to a database, and then the login will check what was input to make sure that it's correct, and if so, allow the user to continue in the app. So we are on track this week. Thanks to Michael, the database is set up. So if we go into create account, any fields that are blank, it'll come up with an error, so it can't be left blank. So let's just say SA, and then create account. It'll add what's input to a database, and then if it's successful, it'll come up with a notification saying that's been added. Yep. And then if we go into login, if we type in something that doesn't exist, it'll say there was an issue, and if anything's left blank, it'll also say that there was an issue. So it checks to see if it exists. Nah, so it doesn't exist. So let's type in what we created just then, SA, and log in. It then checks the database to see if it exists. There we go. So if it does, it then takes us to the next activity. So that was this week's goal. So we are on track for this week. So we've added a couple of extra things just because we had time. So all these take you to the next activity that it requires. It doesn't have any functionality just yet. View journey, so on. So we were able to implement maps as well. So depending on the device that you use, it'll bring up maps. So you can set the longitude and latitude, and then we can go open. It'll then open up the device's maps. Due to it being a driving logbook app, it's set to driver mode. So it just opens up the map on the device that you selected. It's taking its time. There we go. So if we close this up, and then we'll jump into this week's requirements in the Trello. There we go. So this week's requirement was the login page, the database, which we were able to do thanks to Michael. And then we've also added the Google Maps, which is one of the requirements for next week. And then this is pretty much just for the video. So we are on track currently. And then next week we will be focusing on the actual logbook itself. So the actual journeys and storing the journeys as well. And then if we jump into GitHub, it'll list the pushes that we've made this week. Here we are. So this is the commits for this week that both myself and Michael have done. And then to talk to each other, we've been using Discord. Let's bring that up. Here we are. So this is all of the discussions that we've had this week through Discord. So next week it is creating the logs itself. So we're on track. Thanks.